Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Century from Sand to Sea, a mid-century adventure. So this is set up for a mid-century adventure. This is the combined game. If you've watched the previous video, you'll have an idea of what this is and how to come about this one. In amongst the setup, I'm setting this up for 2 players. So this player chooses cubes, and he's chosen 2 yellow and a red, and he's placed his boat on a spot. Then the first player has chosen to take 4 yellows. The other options are a yellow and a green, or 2 red. The other thing to be aware of is that this cross gets shuffled in with the first 5 cards, so it makes a pile of 6. Shuffle that up. When that comes out, that will close down one of the ports. I will talk to you about what that all means later, but just so you're up to date, we know what's going on. So this game is won and lost by getting these. Whoever gets 4 of them will cause the end round to begin. If it is obviously the last player who takes the 4th one, then the game has finished. If it's the first player, the game will continue for everyone else to have the same number of turns. To get these, you are going to need to trade cubes. In order to trade cubes, you have some to start with. You also have 2 cards to start with. Everyone starts with those same 2 cards. So on your turn, you have 4 options of what you can do. The first option you have is to acquire a card. You can just take this card on the left-hand end of the row and add it to your pile. At which point everything will move along one and reveal the next card. If you really want this card, you would need to take cubes and place them onto the 2 cards preceding that in the order in order to take that card. Now anyone who takes either of these 2 cards will also get the cube of goods into their hull as well. You may be wondering what those cubes are. They are ginger, chili, tea and cloves, but I'm just going to call them by their colour because that's easier. The second thing you're able to do is to play a card. Playing a card looks like going through your deck and seeing what you can actually do. So he can't actually do either of those cards at the moment, simply because he doesn't have 3 red or 4 yellow, he's only got 2. But what he can do is play this one on the left hand side. When he plays that card, he gains those 2 cubes of yellow. If he were to play this card, this is a upgrade card. He would take one of those cubes of yellow and upgrade it twice. Now, let me just point out, there is a bit of a bone of contention that in the original game, Century Spice Road, you would be able to take 1 cube and upgrade it to the colour above it, and take another cube and upgrade it to the colour above it with that card. The rules on this are a little bit ambiguous as to which way is the correct way. I believe that it reads to just upgrade the same cube twice rather than upgrading 2 cubes. But I'm happy for that to be wrong. Emerson Masucci, if you happen to be watching this, please comment below with the correct ruling on that. That question mark has been put into Board Game Geek as well, not by me but by someone else months ago, and hasn't actually been answered by anyone. So if anyone has the actual answer and really knows, please let me know, please comment below. Otherwise, I believe that the upgrade that you would get from that, playing that particular card, right there, is to upgrade the cube twice. The third thing you can do if you have either of those, so for example, if he happened to have 4 yellow cubes, he could trade those yellow cubes, all 4 of them in, for a green and a brown. So what is above the arrow becomes what is below the arrow. The third thing you're able to do is a move action. The move action is really the guts of this. So you're going to move your boat. With the move action, you are spending cards to move your boat. So because I have played 3 cards so far, I could move 3 and any cards in my hand, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, if I didn't wish to move that far, I could just use one of those cards that I've already played to move 1 spot. So having lots of cards played or in your hand will enable you to move really quickly around the board. Once you have moved to a spot, or if you choose to not move. The first thing you can do is build an outpost. So because this guy is on the red, the chilies, we take the leftmost outpost from that spot, the red, and add it to the board. If in a later turn blue came through and the ship was there already, blue would need to pay white 1 cube and then would need to pay 2 cubes to the bank to build his port on the same spot. So 1, because the boat was already there. If this boat was here, that cube could stay across where it was, and this one's paying 2 because this is a 2-player game. If you are playing a 3 or 4-player game, you are going to pay 1 cube to build your outpost for every other outpost that is currently on there. So if you're the first player there, like the white was earlier, he would not have to pay at all. Right now, the blue building would cost him 1. If someone else came along and wanted to build there, the 2 ports there already, you'd have to do 2 and 3, etc. If you cannot afford to pay the other player, you cannot go there. Once you have built your outpost, you can then use the tile. So if this player happened to have 4 yellow, this says trade 2 yellow for 2 red. He could do that, trade 2 yellow for 2 red. However, in this game, he could trade 4 yellow for 4 red. Basically, you are able to do as many cubes as you currently have on your board for whatever the combination is that you're trying to trade. If you, for example, had 5 brown and you stopped here, you could pick up 10 green. If you have managed to put all of the outposts out, you gain 1 of the cards. You do not have to pay. This is in the first row. So all 4 are gone. You get 1 of the cards. You can take this card if you wish. You don't have to pay at all to gain it. It just goes into your hand and new one comes out. There's always 4 showing. As we go further down, you have the choice of doing that again on the next row down, or you can take one of these bonuses. What these bonuses do is, this one allows you to move from one space to the next space without having to pay any cards. If you wish to go further, you will have to pay the cards then. This one gives you points at the end of the game. So the first person to get this will take 6 points at the end of the game, next one 5, and then it goes down to 3 points. There are 4 cards there. And the third one allows you to gain extra space on your boat. So at the moment, you're able to hold 10 goods total on your boat. If you put that token in, you are able to hold 13. If you can then get another one, you can hold 16 goods. Other actions available to us are, if you stop on a port, you can do the port action, which is fulfilling the card that is on that port. So this port would need 2 yellow and 4 brown taken out of the cargo hold of that boat. Those guys are sent back to the bank. That card is then flipped over and owned by that player. We replace that card with another one and keep going. If the card that came out was this one, it means that that port is now closed, so there's no point in going there until someone picks up one of the others. So if this person managed to pick this one up, they would take that. The X goes across to the new one, and that would then get a replacement piece. The only other thing that you are able to do is rest. So resting means not doing anything on the board, merely picking up all of the cards that you've currently played, putting them back into your hand, and so you can move on for the next turn. And that is it. The end of the game comes when someone has 4 of these, and everyone then adds up their points. So points off those tokens, points off their board, and if they have any of these points as well. And the person with the highest score is the winner. If there are 2 or more with the high score, whoever the last player out of the people who could be the winner is considered the winner. Please go ahead and watch my playthrough to get an idea of how the game actually plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.